Well, what comes around goes around.
And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie?
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Season 3, Episode 13 of If Loving You Is Wrong. And like I said, what comes around goes around. When we left off, Eddie had pulled a gun, had Larry at gunpoint in the car in the front of Randall's house. That's where we pick up at. And he basically has him in this car. And him and Larry are going back and forth. And he's telling them, well, everybody knows you don't let anybody take you away from the scene because that's like the first mistake. And they're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth in that Tyler Perry way. It's dragging on. Baby, the next thing I know, he starts tasing Larry. But Larry is actually in the S&M, so the level of pain, I believe, that Larry can endure is a little bit more than just a normal person. So if they're going back and forth, he done tased him 2 or 3 times. I said, oh, this is crazy. And that damn Eddie is out for some lunch anyway. Then he's like, drive. I'm not going to keep telling you. Child. So Larry actually tries to get away. He just took and pistol whipped the shit out of Larry till he knocked him out. Just kept banging him in the head with the gun till he knocked him out. Gets his ass out of the back seat, gets into the front seat, takes him on in the car, and ends up taking him literally and chaining him up the same way he had him chained up, but in the back of like a freight truck, like a U-Haul truck, out in the middle of some, he's always taking somebody out in the woods. Got them all chained up and beating and banging on them, talking shit to them, telling them, you humiliated me, this, that, thing, and the other. Larry goes back and forth. Larry, again, is very sadistic himself, so he's going back and forth with him, and he's like begging him to let him go, and he's like, you need to let it go. It was just a joke. It wasn't anything like that. Nothing got done. Nobody did anything to you. He's like, I don't know what you did because I was knocked out. I was passed out. I don't know what you did to me, but I know you humiliated me. You got people who took pictures, and then people are laughing at me all down at the station, and you're going to have to pay. They said, oh, he just banged them all in the face and all of this kind of carrying on. And I'm like, and he's like, you can't leave any marks on me, and this, that, and the other. But again, at the end of the day, Larry doesn't realize how crazy Eddie is. Larry, you don't realize Eddie will kill you and think nothing of it. And that's not registering with him at all. He's so busy with this whole thing of like, you're not going to kill me, but you better be sure not to leave marks and stuff on me because I can come after you. But he don't even really realize that he's dealing with the devil, honey, and he'll kill you and leave your ass in that truck and think nothing of it because he does stuff and he never gets in trouble for it. But whatever. So back in town, there's this whole press conference that Travis Scott's family is actually holding, which Larry actually asked for. So Larry's supposed to be there. So it's a thing of like, where the heck is Larry? All of that's going on. Ian is catching the backlash of this. Where's Larry? Where's Larry? Where's Larry? In the meantime, we got Lucian has actually contacted Ian. And they're going back and forth. And he's saying, the lawyer that you gave me, he's not calling me back, this, that, thing, and the other. And I'm like, what's going on? There's something up with that information that Ian actually gave Lucian. And I believe that it's some bull crap and ain't nobody going to call him back. And I was like, oh, I'm starting not to like you, Ian, because you have a conscience, though you have moves like Larry, which means that you're not shit either. So I'm like, and Lucian's not going to play this game long. We know Lucian. Lucian ain't going to play this game long with Ian, and he's going to mess around and he won't have Ian in a goddamn chokehold if he don't watch himself. So something's really shady about that whole thing. I think he's blowing them off. Brad and Alex have another run-in. He basically is on the verge of leaving, and she knows it. And she's like, what can I do? What can I do? And he's like, what you can do is do not talk to him. Period. Don't go over there. Don't do any of that. She's like, I promise you I wasn't over there. This, that, thing, and the other. Blah, 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 blah. He said, fine. Don't go over there. Don't take your ass over there. And that will work because it's hard. He's like, every time you're over there or he's saying you're over there, it's an issue. It is an issue. So she's like, okay, I promise I won't go over there. I won't go over there. I won't say nothing to him, this, that, and the other. Cool, no problem. Kelly gets a visit from Esperanza. Now I'm sick of this whore. She's down there, and Kelly picks up on what I picked up on. She's talking to Esperanza. Esperanza's assuring her, we got justice covered, this, that, thing, and the other, on. And then there came a point where Kelly said, why are you looking at me like that? What do you mean, how am I looking at you? Bitch, you looking at her like she's guilty, bitch. You're looking at her like she's guilty. You have this whole little thing about you, Esperanza. I can't stand her. I can't stand her. She's a judgmental old wench is what she is. I can't stand her. And meanwhile, all the time, run around doing whatever you want to do. You were screwing the drug dealer at one point. You screw Eddie whenever you get ready to, and then you play the victim. But you lay up with Eddie whenever you want. And like I said, you were screwing the drug dealer. She was running around steadily screwing Julian and all of that mess. Julius. And now you're screwing Steven. You do everything you want to do, Esperanza, but you do have a tendency to turn your nose up at people and be real judgmental and like you don't, like you some old highbrow bitch. But you're not. You're a tramp. You're no better. You're not even as good as some of the other ladies. I don't like her. I've told y'all that before. But that Kelly picked up on it. She's like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to go talk to her. She got her ass out of here. I'm going to go find Lucian and talk to Lucian. She did just that. She went and found Lucian. But baby, it wasn't a conversation she thought she was having. She was going at Lucian. And he said, wait a minute. She was doing the most. He said, hold on. Are you calling yourself playing detective? Do you think you're interrogating me at this point? And she's like, oh, no, I'm just saying, Lucian, I don't know if you know the importance of this because I don't know if you know the importance of this really, Esperanza. She could be facing life in prison. The family, Travis's family is very convincing and this, that, and the other. And he's looking like, so Kelly. Are you questioning Kelly? Is that what you're doing? See, I know that she is innocent. And you should know that she's innocent. But no, she's a judgmental old wench. And she on that fuck shit. Like Kelly said. Like I said. Lucian caught it. And then Lucian ended up taking a crack in her face real good. Turned around, told her, in the midst of all this worrying about Kelly and all, what you need to do is worry about all that fraternizing at work. Well, what are you trying to say, Lucian? This, that, and the other. What are you trying to say? She ends up going, she's running her mouth. And then she's like, well, you already knew about me and Steven. He said, no, see, that's the thing. You ran your mouth and you confessed to something. Yeah, I know you. I know you just like you say, Kelly. And things just seem to be one thing, but then they're another. Hopefully, Kelly won't be like you and sit around and literally confess to something that somebody knew nothing about. Because I knew nothing about you and Stevens. You just confessed to it. I said, oh, bitch, you cracked your face. Cracked your face, honey, and gave you office slut. And he walked right on off. I said, oh, that Lucian is too much, honey, but he got her ass good. She's standing up there looking just as stupid. Later on, she ended up going out. She was out at dinner with Steven. And I don't even know how he deals with her. I don't even know how he continues on liking her. They hiding all up in the corner. Marcy ends up being there with Ian. And they had a little brief conversation. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But Kelly was like, is that Esperanza? She go over there. And yeah, it's Esperanza. She's like, oh, girl, what's going on, honey? And she's all, basically, what she's acting like she's really embarrassed of Steve. And that's what he's like, are you embarrassed of me or something? She's, no. She wants some old bullshit. And I'm like, I don't even know how he could be bothered with her. But it looks like if she keeps this up, that he would just be like, you know what? I don't have time for this. Just forget you. I know I would, but she was totally busted, and she's just irritating. I can't stand her. She just irritates me. Her and Eddie deserve each other. I can't stand neither one of the two of them bitches. Her or Eddie. Anyway, speaking of Ian and Marcy, the subject of Kelly actually came up, and he was saying how he can't represent Kelly because Larry's representing the family, this, that, thing, and the other. So Marcy was kind of calling him one that, like, well, why? I mean, that's, and then why is it that you know that how is it that you know Kelly's innocent anyway? This, that, thing, that. He's like, I can't be talking about my clients. She said, well, technically, she's not your client. He hurry up, change the subject. I said, Now, in the beginning, I was liking Ian for Marcy. Not anymore. Ian, I don't think you deserve Marcy. You can go fade away too. Mess. It's funny because Ian's cute, but I actually like Larry more than I like Ian. Larry is a mess, but we know Larry's a mess. He stands in his mess, and he is sexy as hell. He is better looking than Ian too, but that's not the point. The character that Ian played, we just took to him. But no, you kind of grimy and shady with it. So I don't really like you too much anymore, Ian. I don't care for you. And I got my goddamn good eye on you, you bastard. But Larry, hell, I like Larry. Larry's fine. Larry just is messy as hell, and he do stand in it, with a sexy ass, old bastard. But I feel bad for him all locked up there with that crazy ass Eddie. But he's lying. He's lying. Y'all know he's lying. He done ran up in Eddie two different ways, sideways. He gave it to Eddie, honey. And Eddie said, I don't know what was done. I don't know what was done. I bet you do. I bet you do. I bet you can feel it in your bottom, honey. There's something. And he told him that Randall didn't do anything. He said, all that happened is I just changed you up and I dressed you up. But I didn't do nothing. And Randall's not even into all that, child. I believe Randall fisted him, honey. If not both of them, at least Larry. Somebody fisted Eddie, honey. They didn't gave it to Eddie right in his good old butt, honey. And I believe they did that. And I believe Eddie knows they did that, honey, because he wasn't feeling the same as usual. And then again, maybe he was, honey. Maybe he was feeling the same as usual. Because, he be playing around with the trannies, honey. Anyway, moving on. I'm coming up out of that rabbit hole, honey. As my friends over there at Random TV Reviews say, honey, we're coming up out of the rabbit hole, honey. And we're going to come on up out of Eddie's hole, honey. Enough about his hole. Anyway, moving on. So all of this goes on. Last thing, Alex and Randall. Alex, child, early in the day, Alex is walking the baby. Randall sees her, starts aggravating her, following her. And he's following her. She just smacked him in the face 2 times, and she's going to tell him this, that, and the other. They going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So they end up going, he follows her all the way up to where Natalie and them lives. And then Natalie had actually came out and said, you get away from her and leave her alone. So the two of them get into it. He will tell Natalie, take your ghetto ass back in the house. This, that, and the other. They get to having some words. She said, you know what? You better get away from here. And I know how to get rid of you. He will say, what are you going to do? Baby, he went to do something, and she fell on the ground and got to carrying on. Talking about, oh, he didn't hit me. Somebody called the police. She carried on. Honey, and Alex was sitting there looking at her like, oh, no, this bitch didn't. She said, girl, that's how you got to do it. He finally took his ass and ran off. She said, just how you have to do it, baby. You got to make him leave you alone and set him up if you need to. Fall on out on the ground. Do what you got to do. So that was that. They laughed, and then she told her, I'm so sorry about all that stuff with Lucian, and I know you're mad at me, and the baby is not Lucian's or anything like that. I'm just so sorry. This, that, and the other. They were like, she's like, girl, it's cool. We all right. So she told her, but what you need to do, she said, you need to try to do something to get rid of him, get rid of Randall. From bothering you. And she says, well, we're working on it. She said, no, baby. See, the problem is you brought that bad entity into your life. That's not on you and Brad to get rid of. It's not on Brad at all, baby. It's on you. You brought him in. Now you need to do something to get rid of him. She said, you need to set him up or something. I said, Lord have mercy. Here we go. Listen here, Ghetto Mary. Last time you gave somebody some damn advice, Kelly killed that boy and ended up in jail. Child, y'all better stop listening to Natalie. I mean, I feel what she's saying, but Natalie, when you give advice, bitch, bad shit happens, honey. So I don't know about you or. So anyway, later on that night, Brad, ain't came home from work or whatever yet. Here, Alex is up there putting the baby to sleep. And they showed the baby. The baby's just a cute child. They just, we never really get to see him. He's just a cute little thing, a little round head. I said, oh, look at him, honey, and them little dark eyes. Looking, I said, oh, look at him, honey. Bless his little soul. But anyway, so she's putting him to sleep. Finally gets him settled down, gets him laying down. This fool is outside blasting the music and said, oh, yeah, dancing all off beat. She goes up to him and told him, you turn that shit down. So they're going back and forth, and then she's steady arguing with him. All the shit comes up about the whole thing with the baby and Marcy being pregnant and all that. And speaking of that, let me jump backwards for a minute. Child, Brad and Randall had this little argument earlier, baby, when Brad told that damn Randall. Because, see, Randall thinks he's cute. He going to tell him, I used to own your wife. Oh, I used to own her. I loved it. He going to say, but see, that's the bad thing. You're not owning her anymore. But me, I'm owning your wife right now. And our baby is kicking in her real strong. And that baby's going to be a star. So he said, the baby's kid. He said, yeah, our baby be kicking just like I kicked your ass off of that ladder. I said, oh, damn. He ran him right on back down the street. I said, Randall can't take it. Randall don't know how to play the dozens. Randall doesn't, he dish shit out and can't take it back. I sat and laughed. I said, Lord have mercy. Anyway, so Goofy Alex said, you need to leave us alone. My baby's not yours. And the baby that Marcy's carrying is not my husband's. That's your baby, stupid. Why don't you go in there and look at the goddamn calendar, you dumbass? So he's like, oh, you trying to mess with me? So he's finally believing her. And boy, didn't you know, right then, Brad pulls up and sees her ass outside talking to him. And it's dark outside now. Did he tell you to keep your stinking ass from over there? Baby, he sped off and peeled them tires. Child, I said, you done messed up now. That's it, baby. Marcy's getting ready to get your man, honey. Sure is. Marcy gonna have too many men that she can even handle, child. But I mean, come on, Brad and Ian. Sounds like an interesting night to me. You're already pregnant. What the hell? Whew, whatever. Anyway, so that's basically where it ended. I said, Alex that messed up. I said, now she might really do go over there and set him up or knock him off or something. It's going to be interesting to see. All right, you guys. I'll catch y'all next week. Later.